So then you've really got to be happy that you're bringing so much talent back this year. Not just the talent, but the work ethic that they put in. They know what it takes to get to the Frozen Four.
They do, but at the same time, we don't get to start the season as we finished. You know, it's a brand new team, new freshmen, seniors depart, new roles have to be filled. We got to find a new goaltender this year, so we have a lot of question marks heading into the year. But at the same time, we have a lot of returning players that understand what's required if you're going to be a championship level team.
And starting with goal, I know losing Kent Patterson was huge. He set the all-time career records at the university, which in itself is amazing. But now you've got two guys in the Wilcox kid coming out of South St. Paul, and then Michael Shabrowski, who a lot of people don't even remember as a backup. But as we have seen over the last year, he really worked hard in practice and off the ice before games, just focusing on what he had to do as if he was going to play. So that being said, how do things shape up to what you're going to be doing with the goaltending plans?
You know, we're not real sure yet how that will shake itself out. But like I said, the players will determine that. We're not going to. We don't have any preconceived plan that we're going to rotate so many games or we're going to rotate all year. What we'd like to see is both be given an opportunity to play and then somebody take the reins. And we don't know if that will happen or if they'll both be equal and we'll continue to rotate, or somebody does assume the number one job, and how quickly that happens, whether it's a month, 2 months, or 3 months.
Well, can you tell us about those two guys? And Shabrowski's got like 90 minutes of career playing time, most of them here, but he's also had a game and a half. Actually, most of them at CC, 75 minutes there to 20 here. What do you expect from him, and what do you expect from Wilcox?
Well, they're both, I think, talented goaltenders. Shabrowski's a little bit bigger. He's maybe goes down a little bit more often than Wilcox. Is a little bit more of a stand-up goaltender. But again, you know, until they start to play games for us, you really don't know. I think they've both proven that they can play at this level. They both had outstanding years in USHL. Shabrowski in Des Moines and Wilcox in Green Bay and Tri-Cities before he came here. So they have the background. Now they just need the opportunity to play.
And something that certainly helps is the fact that this team did a very good job last year in limiting the shots against. And with the experienced D coming back, you've got 7 regulars back on defense, plus 2 recruits who are coming in and are going to certainly vie for some playing time. That should help defensively.
Well, it should. I mean, we have a very deep defensive core, and I've been here. This is going to be my 14th year, and the best teams we've had are the teams that have had outstanding defensive cores. And obviously, Coach Gensel does a great job with our D, and he's going to have be scratching his head a few times on who to play. But it's a nice problem to have, is to have too many rather than not enough.
Hey, we've encouraged some questions from the internet on gophersports.com. Don, here's the first one. I'll let you. The words are, what's the first line of D going to look like this year? And I'm assuming they're not talking about goaltenders in this situation, but you're a large core of defensemen.
Well, first, I'm glad you read it, because without my reading glasses, I couldn't have read it.
Hey, I could do surgery with these eyes.
Yeah, and you know what? We don't know how that's going to shake out yet. We don't know who's going to be playing with who. Obviously, we could start the year and say, you know what, our same 6 are beginning how we ended the year, but we have 2 pretty talented freshmen that are coming in. How is that going to shake out? You know what? We'll probably have a better idea the 1st of November than we do early October.
When you look at your forwards now, how do you see that shaping up with 6 of your top 7 scorers returning to the team?
Well, I think right now the question is how we want to kind of put some of these together. I mean, Condon and Boyd played very well at the end of last year together. Obviously, Rao and Bjugstad we'd like to keep together. We had warning with Howla last year. What we do with Bjugstad, leave him with Bjugstad or put him down maybe with Howla to begin the year to give us a little bit more balance. Those are some of the question marks that we're going to have as we begin the season. And again, we have to play some games and mix some guys around to see, because you know, we did lose Matson, we did lose Hansen out of our top 9, and we got to find a couple guys to replace them.
You know, the top 4 guys that you bring back were each 40-point players. I mean, they were difference makers. That's got to give you a very good comfort level.
Well, what gives me a real good comfort level is our top 3 centers return, and Bjugstad, Howla, and Boyd. And they all finished, and I always say if you're going to be like any sport, you got to be strong up the middle. And we should have a very good defensive core. We should be very strong up the middle with our centers. The question mark is which one of our goaltenders are going to emerge. But I like the play of the guys that we have in the middle. I think Travis Boyd, after being with him at the World Juniors this summer, has showed me that he has taken a step. He was one of the youngest players in college hockey a year ago, and I think his game is much improved, and it needs to be. I mean, we need more than a goal from him this year, and I think our freshmen to sophomores are really going to hold the key to how successful a season we'll have.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty important because we saw those second level guys contributing, maybe not on an every night basis, but once a weekend or once every 3 games or so. To see Boyd improve that much, I think that's really good news for Gopher fans.
Well, I think we saw him at the end of the year. He didn't turn 18 till last fall of his freshman year, so he was a very young incoming freshman, and I think he improved, became confident by the end of the year, and he's a good two-way centerman. He may be one of our best penalty killers as we enter the season along with Condon. So, we have some pieces of the puzzle. Now we just got to put the puzzle together.
When you take a look at a guy like Nick Bjugstad, great to have him coming back, as I know Florida was looking to turn him pro. I'm sure Eric Howla had the same opportunities with the Minnesota Wild. What kind of goes through? It's always different for each individual guy, but what's kind of the process that goes through in determining whether these guys want to come back or not?
Well, I mean, believe it or not, we have very little impact or influence on that. I think for them, it's just kind of evaluating where they're at, maybe where they're at in school, where they're at in the maturity level, where they're at as a player, how much room they feel they have to grow still. And then the organization, I think all that plays a part in it. And then they kind of sit down at the end of the year and kind of look at what they think they want to do. And it always still comes down to the player. What does a player want to do? And in their heart, I think all those kids have wanted to come back this year, and we're certainly excited to have them back.
Give us a little insight, what you know of your freshman class coming in, what you might expect from them. I know you just told the media a little bit earlier that you're going to rely a lot more on the sophomore junior class as you did last year, but tell us about the freshmen this year.
Well, I think that obviously Wilcox coming in the nets is going to be given every opportunity to play some games early and show us what he can do. He's very athletic. He handles the puck extremely well, and he had a great year and helped Tri-Cities make the playoffs last year when he got traded to him. They were down and out, and he kind of put him on his back to get him there. I know talking to Tampa Bay, they felt he had a very strong camp this summer when he was down there with their draft choices, so that's a good sign. Obviously, Brady Shea and Mikey Riley are both, I think, 2 big-time defensemen. Mikey Riley is probably as good a power play guy as you can find. He reminds me a lot of Alex Goligoski, the way he skates, the way he can dance on the blue line, he can shoot from back there. Brady Shea is a good two-way mix of a guy. He can create some offense, but he's also big enough at about 6'2", 200 pounds that he can lean on people in our own zone. Both of them are outstanding skaters. We took a hit with our freshman when Connor Riley was injured, and we'll miss him because he was probably of our incoming freshman forwards, the guy that we looked at could break into our top 9 to start the year, and so we will miss him. But certainly with AJ and Ryan Riley and Christian Horn, they're going to be given an opportunity to play early, probably more of a fourth-line role to begin the season, and then look to see if they can, take somebody's spot that's ahead of them. But we feel pretty comfortable, at least to begin the year, that we have some older guys that are going to be given an opportunity to play in that top 9 role, and we'll see if they can hang on to it, or we'll take one of those younger freshmen and put them in some of those spots.
Let's talk a little bit about the league. Final year of the WCHA as we know it in its current form, and I think you said it best at Media Day here, it's kind of a bittersweet situation right now with the league, but can you reminisce at all about what it's meant for you being a member of the WC?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, that I enjoyed playing in the league as a player back in the late 70s, and it was a different league back then because you did have Michigan State, and Notre Dame as a member of the WCHA. It was a 10-team league at the time, an outstanding league. And same with my roots when I had an opportunity to come back in 1993 and coach at Colorado College, just to be back a part of the league. And I looked at it as a time as the premier league in college hockey. And I think whether you're a player or a coach, I mean, that's where you want to go. You want to go to a league where they have great venues to play in. You want to go to a league where it's the number one sport on their campuses, and just the growth. I think that's one of the things that, as I sit back over the 20 years, the growth within the league of the venues. I mean, the changeover from new rinks in Colorado and Denver and North Dakota and Minnesota, Wisconsin, Duluth, now Bemidji. I mean, it's incredible that, and that just kind of shows the passion that each one of those institutions have and the commitment that they have to their hockey programs.
One of us is getting the hook, and it's not Wally and I. So you're wanted somewhere else in the building here with the rest of the media. We thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Have a great day.
And have a great season. Good luck this year. I think we're already off to a great start.
Okay, let's knock on wood and say let's stay healthy.
Right here. Okay, thanks, Don Lucia. What happens next year? Are we just going to play musical chairs?
No, Seth Helgeson is going to step in and join
okay.
us. So we'll just wait for Seth to get situated
You
here.
get the middle spot there. I'm on the fringe.
We just might have to call this guy Grandpa Helgeson, as he is the elder statesman and the lone senior on this team.
I feel like one, that's for sure. The old guy of the team, that's a first. That's a first for me, so it's a little weird.
What is it like as a burden?
It's nice. The younger guys kind of look up to me, but I mean, I've been around for so long. I feel like I know everything, so I kind of have to put my 2 cents into pretty much everything, and I kind of get the extra benefit being the older guy and around the locker room and being the first one to eat and all that. So it's kind of nice.
The first one to eat's not a bad trade-off.
No, you get all the best food. It's always fresh, so you don't have to worry about that.
So do you have any initial impressions? I know you've had captain's practices now, and you're getting now ready for the season officially.
Yes.
First impressions on what you're seeing on the ice?
It's great. We have a lot of very good incoming freshmen, very good guys. It's nice having them on the ice, but it's even more enjoyable having them off the ice. They're great kids. They're fun to be around, and they bring a little more energy than the older guys do. So it's yes, already. So I think they're excited to get the season started. That's for sure.
So do you see your role somewhat as a mentor then?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I'm there for questions. I think they know that I'm there if they need to ask a question or two. But I guess I could be the mentor of the team, the old guy, the mentor of the team for sure.
Hey, Seth, a year ago we were talking about the leadership that Taylor Matson brought to the team over the summer. Mm-hmm. He's going to be a difficult guy to replace. But what is going on in terms of replacing him, and how much of that attitude from last year is just carrying over by naturally?
Yes, I think it's carrying over by the way that how we did last year. And that's kind of what was instilled, especially in the weight room. I think that Cal Dietz, did a good job of explaining what Taylor brought to the table last year, and I think Zach Budish has done a great job. He's stepped up to the plate, and he really knows how Taylor was last year, and I think he's kind of taken the role of what Taylor was and brought some new elements into it. But at the same time, he's definitely done a great job this past summer and this fall, and he's taken all the responsibility. So it's been great having him along.
You get a chance, being a defenseman, to see all these forwards coming at you in practices. Yes. And what you've gone through so far. How do you assess the forward group?
They're impressive. Having a lot of guys from last year's team, it makes it a lot better. But I mean, these young freshman kids, they bring a lot to the table. They're quick, they're fast, they're skilled. It's just it's a group that's we recognize from last year, but at the same time, there's a couple new faces, and it should be fun. Obviously, we're taking it one day at a time, but it should be a fun group of forwards up there.
9 defensemen this year. 9 defensemen in camp. And the cheap labor is always ready to knock off the experienced guy.
Yes.
How competitive are those 6 jobs?
It's very competitive, especially with our 6 defensemen last year that played pretty much every game coming back. So I think everyone has a little added pressure on their shoulders, and it makes it very competitive during practice. But I think everyone's up to the challenge, and we know, too, that Coach Genzel's going to be there on us at all times, at all moments. So I think everyone's prepared. Coach Genzel's prepared us for this this type of thing, and I think it's going to be interesting, but at the same time, it's going to be a fun competition.
Well, you look like you're enjoying it. I mean,
Absolutely, it's great. It makes the practices a lot more competitive. It makes it like a game type atmosphere, and it's just awesome. It's good to see, especially all the defensemen just going in there and battling each and every day.
Yeah, practices are going to be more competitive than the games.
yeah.
It's going to be, it's going to be quite crazy, especially with spots that are not, nothing's guaranteed. So it's going to be a good practices coming up.
I got to ask you one more thing about the outdoor game coming up in Soldier Field against Wisconsin. That's got to be a pretty big marker on the calendar for you guys.
Yes, definitely. It's something that obviously we haven't experienced, and it's going to bring us back to the good old young days of playing out on the rinks and out in the outdoor rinks. So I think everyone's obviously excited for the game, but at the same time we want to start off the season taking it one day at a time. But that is definitely a time that we're going to be excited about.
Cool deal.
Great.
Seth Helgeson, thanks very much. We're going to let you out of here because Schmidt wants to get in.
Of course he does. Of course he does. He wants to talk some more.
Never at a
Amazing.
loss for words, is he?
Never.
Seth,
Hey,
thanks.
good seeing
All right.
you guys.
Good to see you,
Good
Seth.
ya.
Yeah, have a great year.
Thank you.
Live camera now, live microphones. Be careful what you say.
Nate, good to see you.
Isn't it amazing that he's the only guy we had to say that to?
Yeah.
Be careful. I have no idea.
on. What was summer like for you?
It was good. It was long. It was a long awaiting for this right here, to be honest. We're excited to get it back out there. It's excited to beat up on other people besides ourselves. So
And it was long, I'll bet, because you had such a successful end of the year. I know the last game you wanted to go a different way, but to make it to Tampa was a great goal to be set by this team and one to achieve.
that's right. We had a interesting year last year with the way the year started, the way the middle kind of went, and the way that it ended. It was fun. It was a time of life. Actually, it was probably my most memorable season that I've ever had playing hockey. It was just exciting in every asset and every aspect. The Final Five going the way it was kind of threw a damper on things, but at the same time, sometimes you need a little bump in the road in order to get to the top. So.
This will be a little different year for you because you're coming in now as one of the key guys on defense. That may not have been the case last year based on your freshman year where you didn't get a chance to play a whole lot, but you also played some forward as well as defense. But one of the things that I remember talking with the coaches is you were informed in the spring after your freshman year that you were going to be a much bigger role player on the team last year. And you certainly got out of the chutes great and picked up a lot of points. And I guess that just shows the determination and the work ethic that goes into the offseason and what it can produce.
That's right. Especially last year, coaches, especially Don, came to me and we had that conversation. It really is a confidence booster to get out there and know that not only that you can believe that you can do it, but have the coaching staff behind you, and gets your teammates behind you, and everybody gets that certain gets that little added jump to their step. And I think that's what happened with me last year. I got excited about the season. I was excited to go out there and show people what I could do. To the point where, because I was seen out as a forward, I was kind of all over the place. I think I worn about every jersey in practice, so I've kind of been all over the board a little
line,
bit.
right?
I besides the first two, I think I've worn every color. So I was talking to them yesterday. I was thinking a little bit about it. That it's been interesting. It was an interesting ride, but at the same time, it's been a great experience. It's helped me become the player that I am now.
Well, I think it was just a great year for you. When you consider you played, the 13 games, sort of spot duty your freshman year. Schmidt, you had 41 points last year. I mean, that's awesome. That's what I think. How do you feel about it?
It's just a number to try and get better for this year. I'm just trying to better myself. It's just a number. The way I reflect play is I like to look at plus minus. Obviously, the points. It's a good added booster, especially when you get to play with the kind of guys that we get to play with, or that I get to play with Bjugstad and Budish and some of our other talented, and Rao and some of our other talented forwards. So it's just one of those things that you gotta take with a little grain of salt, knowing that it was a good accomplishment for me last year, and I was really excited that I got to the 40-point mark and passed Coach Gensel in the assist category in a single season. He actually came up to me and told me that I was going to get reduced playing time so that I didn't go by him. So, you know, it was one of those things that just a nice little thing to get ready for this year. I know that, you know, 41 it's a heck of a year, but you know, may not be able to get to that same, may or may not be able to get to that same, but I'm obviously trying to get past it this year to try and go out there and just do a little better, just get better every day.
Yeah, but you just touched on the plus minus too, and you were plus 24, which is the top on the team. And you had a lot of your points that came on power play, which does not go towards plus minus. So to be the team leader in that category really says quite a bit about your 5-on-5.
Jake Proud and I sat down a couple weekends into the season last year, and we said to each other, this is what we want to do. We want to get out there. We want to block shots. We want to limit as many opportunities as possible, and we want to have the best plus minus as a pair. And I thought we did a pretty good job at doing that this past year. We worked on a lot of things this year with communication and just trying to get to know each other. I mean, it took a while to get us to know each other's styles and learn about each other. And so that was something that I felt like it was a very good judgment of how him and I played as a pair last year.
I ask you the same question I asked Seth. How about the competition for those jobs on D with 9 guys in the roster? How tough?
It's exciting. It's tough. It's I mean, you're getting pushed every day. There is no you're locked in. You're already set in stone. We got so many. I mean, the freshmen we have coming in are both outstanding players. It's pushing the older guys, such as myself, to be as good as we can as we can possibly be during practice. Because, if with the way the talent that we have back there, guys are fighting every single day to try and get ice time, and it's a fierce, intense battle right now. I think it's good. It's really good for us. It pushes, like I said, pushes the older guys. The younger guys can see how hard that the older guys are working. So it just kind of creates an atmosphere, a good competition or atmosphere around our decor.
With the decor as a whole, is this a more mobile group, do you think, than maybe last year, and more of a pass-creating type of group?
I think we have a little bit more offensive ability as well. That's something I think that we bring to the table this year. We have some guys that can really move the puck, especially with the 2 freshmen coming in, really can move the puck. We got guys that got a lot better this summer. We can improved a lot over the summer with moving the puck. We have a faster, more mobile defensive core that I think can be one of the strengths of our team.
Yeah. And to help out the goalies, huh?
No, I mean, it really is. I'm not that you guys were slow last year, but to have a good, quick, mobile defense is a blessing in hockey.
It really is. And the thing is, what a lot of teams don't have that I think that we have is our big guys, our mobile guys too, and they can move. Yeah. Our guys that are, we got some, some big, solid defensive guys that can really put the hurt to you if you get close to them. So, and for those guys to be able to move up and down the ice and be able to create offense as well, in order to create, turnovers in the neutral zone, but still can recover because they got the foot speed, they got the agility to do that. It really helps. It really does. It really creates a dynamic for our D to be, more up in the play. We're trying to limit as much time in our zone as possible this year. I mean, I know that's the emphasis, but I really think that we can get up into the face of the opposition and make sure that we can, limit the time in our zone as much as possible.
Can't wait to see it go.
I'm ready to roll too.
All right.
Hey, your captain wants you out of here.
Hey,
Nate,
no, actually, he
you.
wants himself in here. All right.
Good to see you again, Nate.
Nate Schmidt,
That's
thanks.
Nate Schmidt.
Thank you.
Zach Budish.
Captain Zach Budish. Oof, boy.
Congratulations on that. Congratulations on that.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Big honor. So I'm looking forward to it. And
When did you get the word?
we had a meeting in about August. I think the first week of August. They Coach Lucia announced that myself, Seth, and Nick would be the captains for this year. So it was a pretty exciting opportunity, and I'm looking forward to it.
How does that change your roles with this team?
I think part of my role is making sure the freshmen are included and, kind of helping them ease them into the WCHA and college hockey in general. I mean, I know when I was a freshman, I was pretty nervous coming into the whole thing, whether it's on the ice, off the ice, or in the classroom or whatever, just kind of making sure they feel a part of the team. And they've been here, since mid-June, taking summer class and working out, so they've fit in very well.
Well, that was a big deal last year, too, for the freshmen that came in, is to get them acclimated to the program right away, and it certainly paid off.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we expect our freshmen to contribute, and I know they're looking forward and eager to get in the lineup. So we have some good competition. So we got a good group of veterans coming back, and some talented freshmen coming in that should step in and play well for us.
We've talked quite a bit already about forwards and defensemen, and Don was here to talk a bit about that. We don't have a goalie represented among the players here, so what do you think Shibby and Wilcox are going to bring to the team this year?
I think it's going to be good competition. I mean, they've both, kind of put in their time. Shibby's played, a couple years of juniors, and played, worked his bag off in practice all year last year. So, I know he's eager to play a game and get in there. And Wilcox played 2 years in the USHL, and he's had pretty good, 2 pretty good years there, and he's excited to have an opportunity to play. And I think it'll be good competition every day in practice. And they're going to push each other. They're different kind of goalies, different kind of kids, but they're good friends, and it'll be good competition.
Well, everybody was asking me all summer long, is the line of Bjugstad, Rao, and Budish going to remain together?
I thought you already had Coach Lucia on here. I don't know. We've been mixing the lines around quite a bit, here in practice. We're only allowed 2 hours a week with the coaches, so we haven't really, we've kind of touched the water on all the offensive zone, neutral zone, all that kind of stuff. So, I've been with different guys every day, so I can't even tell you.
But it's good to have some balance, though, which is what it's shaping up to be.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got a lot of forwards coming back that played, pretty much every night, and as well as 5 freshman forwards that are, ready to play and eager to get in there. So, whatever they end up doing with mixed and matching lines on any given night, I mean, I'm sure they'll, the first couple of weekends try and figure out, combinations that work. And last year we were pretty fortunate that right away, we had a couple lines that clicked, so there was really no reason to switch them. But this year might be different. You never really know.
Zach, is there a carryover from the Frozen Four last year, the fact that you guys were able to make it after a long absence? And is there a carryover in building this year's team?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a new team. We lost, 7 seniors, and we got 8 freshmen coming in. So, we are, we got a taste of what it takes last year. And, part of my job and the other leaders' job is to make sure, we don't, get too caught up in, preseason rankings and stuff like that, and make sure we establish ourselves the first couple weekends as a tough team to play against, and, win some games early and kind of just go from there, take it a day at a time.
Yeah, and that is the big thing, because the fans will look at the number 1 ranking, and I know it's nice for you guys to see that early on, but I know it too is not something that you want to focus on, and it's literally, it's cliche-ish, but you do really just take it a day at a time.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it sounds pretty cliche, but, we haven't even had our first official practice yet. So, people can rank us wherever they want and say, give us these expectations or whatever. But, it comes down to it. It comes down to what you do on Friday and Saturday nights. And, we're excited for our exhibition game Saturday. And then we got a good team in Michigan State coming next Friday who's in the tournament last year and beat us out there and tied us. So they got a good team, and we're looking forward to that.
A couple words on Bjugstad coming back. Did that break a few smiles in the locker room?
Yeah, I think I was pretty excited. I was kind of putting the full court press on him for a while. So, I think he made a good decision. I think he's happy with coming back. And, he's been awesome this summer, just being a leader and taking the next step. And, everyone sees what he does on the ice, but he's a good teammate too.
Great. I know we're getting a cut. We've got Nick coming in next. Zach, great to see you. Congratulations on the captaincy, and we're looking forward to watching you play.
Thanks a lot for having me. I appreciate it.
Zach, thanks very much. Zach Budish. And the man is back.
Good to see you guys.
Mickey, come on in.
Hi, Nick.
How's it going?
Good to see you, buddy.
We're live and in color here.
Yeah.
Everything you say and do is seen by the world.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
No edits, no nothing.
All right.
And I wanted to ask you, a lot of people are very happy you're coming back, and I know there was a lot of probably trepidation early on as to what you were going to do, but in just kind of a summary situation, kind of take us through the steps of what you went through mentally over the course of summer and deciding whether to turn pro or come back to the U.
Yeah, I mean, it took a while for me to make the decision, obviously. I kind of just weighed my pros and cons and made sure I was making the right decision. I waited till the midsummer, basically. I went down to their camp, kind of saw what was going on there, and they're a great organization, no disrespect to them, but I just felt it was right for me to come back, develop another year here, and especially the guys coming back. I mean, love my teammates, and it's a good team on paper. So I'm hoping we can put together a season like we did last year. And I mean, yeah, it was really fun last year having a season like we did. So it's a tough place to leave, obviously, with the fans and all the supportive people here. And Minnesota's uncomparable to any state in the country. So I definitely, it was in the long run. I think it was pretty easy for me in the long run. So.
But the team's success last year had to be one of the key factors in all the factors that you considered to have a successful year like that, and to think that perhaps it can be duplicated or improved upon this year had to be one of the bigger deciding factors.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we won the McNaughton Cup, so that was a great accomplishment. We made it to the Frozen Four, came up a little short, which was unfortunate, but like I said, just putting together a season like we did last year, with all the guys coming back. I mean, we got a good leadership with some older guys, so I think it should be a really fun season this year too.
Have you set some goals for yourself personally and team-wise for this year?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously I'm a little older, so I'm gonna try to be a good leader, and I mean, last season we had a good season, and personally I felt I did pretty well. So I think if I had a season like last year, it'd be really enjoyable for me. So
I think it would for a lot of people.
yeah, sure.
You know, I mentioned to Don Lucia about the fact that the top 4 scorers are back, and they're all 40-point guys, yourself included in there. But he said one of the biggest things is that we're strong down the middle. We're strong at center ice.
Yeah, I think we got a good core group of forwards. Some good guys coming in that are really fast, and I think they'll be able to make the jump. And then you look at our defensemen. I mean, we got all of them returning and 2 really good ones coming in. So I think all around the chart, on paper, we're good. It just depends on if we're going to put it together or not.
Yeah, I was curious about the strength of the D. We've had a couple of the defensemen talk a little bit, but now you as a forward in practice, even though you haven't formally got things going yet, but you're skating down against these guys all the time. What's it like to play against this Gopher D?
Yeah, I mean, it's fortunate to have defensemen in practice like that. They're always making you better and challenging you. So coming down on practice, it gets frustrating every once in a while when you can't get by them, but you know it's a good thing in the long run for your team because they'll be doing that in games as well.
Are they as mobile as Schmidt led us on to believe?
Yeah, they're pretty mobile. We got some guys similar to Schmidt even. A guy like Mikey Riley, really crafty, and I'm excited to see some good things out of him this year.
What do you expect out of the league this year, taking your viewpoint on it?
I think it's going to be, it's the last year of the WCHA, so a lot of teams will have to enjoy that, and I think it'll be really intense and good as always. So I'm going to have to enjoy it too. I mean, I've watched WCHA hockey all the way growing up, so it's kind of sad to see it's the last year, but I think in the long run, Big Ten will be a good deal. So.
Well, hey, on behalf of all the fans, I think everybody's glad to see you back, and congratulations on last year, a great year last year, and let's go at it this year.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Nicky Bjugstad. Okay, we'll keep. Hey, Wally, we're going to pin ourselves to the wall here a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So, what do you think?
Well, with what we've heard today from the coaches and the players,
Pretty
I mean,
cool.
it's something that you and I have talked about off and on over the summer too. I mean, we're quite ramped up about this season. Certainly this team overachieved last year, but got the results that I think a lot of people expect out of the University of Minnesota
Right.
program. And I don't really see any reason to figure otherwise going into this year, that this is going to be another very strong team.
Yeah, they lost quality people, but they've got a large core of quality people coming back, and that's because their sophomore, junior classes last year were, I should say, actually freshman, sophomore classes last year were as good as they are.
Yeah.
Because we've only got one junior from last year, now only one senior here. But yeah, the guys that stayed, and then getting Bjugstad back was huge. Howla had a great second half to the season. He could lead a team alone, but he's got a great supporting cast.
Well, and he was certainly an MVP in the playoffs, I think, too, along with Kent Patterson there. But it's just good to have all that coming back. And I think we'll be fine in goal. I really do. I know it's still a question mark, and rightfully so, because there's basically one period of experience between these two guys coming into this season. But as Don has said, I think there's so much support up front on the D core and the forward core that it's going to help a lot to transition these goalies into good
The goalies
roles.
may not see the puck very much.
Well, that's just it. I mean, this was the highest scoring team in college hockey last year. It was one of the highest shooting shots on goal teams, and it was one of the best teams in WCHA in not allowing shots against. And that's a team that nobody gave a lot of credit towards going into last season.
Yeah, the D played extremely well, and if they're bigger and faster this year, it only bodes really well. Still think it's really interesting that they're among the elite in the country and picked number one, at least by the media, in the WCHA, and only 90 minutes of collegiate goaltending.
yeah.
And that all belongs to Shabrowski. So, I mean, that's pretty unusual to have no experienced goaltender and still be able to be picked number one and among the elite. I think we're in for a good run.
Well, and we've got to keep in mind, too, that this is not uncommon common in college hockey where you can have a freshman goaltender come in and just be a stud. We've seen teams in Michigan do it. We've seen teams in Wisconsin do that. Boston College has had a history of producing goalies like that. North Dakota has. So and we saw what Sam Britton did in Denver as a freshman 2 years ago. So I've got full confidence in what our guys are capable of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ready?
And we will have the Michigan State series on radio. The Lethbridge game will not be broadcast on the radio, nor will the U18 game as exhibitions. But other than that, you and I
coast
are
to
there
coast.
for every shift.
If the game counts, we're there.
All right. And we're looking forward to it. We hope you are as well, and we'll see you around the rink.